This is the part of the setup that always confuses everybody. Hey guys, Cliff Olson, Doctor of Audiology and founder of Applied Hearing Solutions in Phoenix, Arizona. And in this video, I'm walking you through my step-by-step tutorial for setting up the AirPods Pro 3 as hearing protection. So Apple introduced new hearing features in October of 2024 with the release of iOS 18.1. This update brought with it a few things. First and foremost, it turned the Apple AirPods Pro 2 into clinical-grade over-the-counter hearing aids for adults with perceived mild to moderate hearing loss, and a hearing protection feature that turned the AirPods Pro into active hearing protection, both of which are now available inside of the AirPods Pro 3. Now, if you're interested in a tutorial video for the hearing aid feature, or you want to see my detailed reviews of the hearing aid feature or the hearing protection feature, I have separate videos for all of those that I will link down in the description. In this video, I'm focused exclusively on setting up the AirPods Pro 3 as hearing protection. Now, a few things worth mentioning about the AirPods Pro 3 as hearing protection. These, if they run out of battery, you can still use them as passive hearing protectors, but you only get around 10 decibels of noise reduction rating. That's not really a lot of hearing protection. However, the amount of protection you receive increases significantly in transparency mode and both active modes depending on the level of noise that you're in, with up to 18 decibels of sound attenuation in transparency mode and up to 30 decibels of attenuation in both adaptive and noise cancellation modes and 110 decibels of noise. This dramatically increases the amount of time that you can safely spend in a noisy environment while wearing the AirPods Pro 3 if you've set them up correctly. Now, before I get into the correct way of setting up these as hearing protection, do me a huge favor and click the like button. It really helps out the channel. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on, go ahead and do that as well. It's greatly appreciated. And let me know down in the comment section if you've ever used AirPods Pro as hearing protection and how you would compare it to other hearing protection that you've used. All right, first things first. In order to use this hearing protection feature, you have to make sure that you have either an iPhone or an iPad. Now, the only other hardware requirement other than having an iPhone or an iPad is that these devices have to be capable of running the iOS 18.1 software. The second thing that you need to make sure of is if you're running the proper iOS. So like I said, you have to at least be running iOS 18.1 or newer. If you don't have at least that version of the iOS, then you're not even going to see the hearing protection feature inside of your settings. An easy way to check this out is to actually go to the settings of your phone. You're going to scroll down to General, tap on General, and then you're going to look at the software update, and it will tell you which version you're running and if there are any versions that are newer that you can install. As you can see, I am up to date right now running iOS 26.0.1. Of course, if you're not up to date, you need to go ahead and run that software update, and keep in mind that can take you up to an hour. But once you have the software updated, you can then move to the third step, which is pairing your AirPods Pro 3 with your device. Now, here's the cool thing. When you open up the lid of the AirPods Pro 3, your phone should actually identify your AirPods. And if those are your AirPods, you can just go ahead and tap on connect there. Once you've done that, you have to double tap the front of the case. So you'll notice here on the back of the case, they have no more push button. That was the pairing button from the AirPods Pro 2. Now we simply do a double tap on the front here, and you should see that light flashing there. Once you have that light flashing, it is going to be picked up on your phone here, and then we're just going to go ahead and say not now and continue. So once we're back in the settings of the phone here, you can see that we have AirPods Pro 3 up here at the top. And if we go down to Bluetooth here, we can see the AirPods Pro 3 in the Bluetooth settings. Now you can access the settings of the AirPods Pro 3 in either one of those locations. It takes you to the same place. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tap on the AirPods Pro 3 here to make sure that they say connected. Otherwise I cannot get into that setting, but here we go. We are now connected, and I'm gonna hit the little blue eye icon right next to it, and this takes us into the AirPods Pro 3 settings page. Now this next part of the setup drives me absolutely crazy. So you may notice here that I actually have the hearing health section that says hearing protection and hearing assistance. But when you first connect up the AirPods Pro 3 to your device, it is not going to have that as an option. What you need to do is update the firmware inside of the AirPods Pro 3 so that actually shows up. Unfortunately, there's no quick way to do this. How you have to basically do it is that once you get them paired up, you plug in both of these devices and you let them just kind of sit next to each other with the lid closed on the case, might I add, and then it takes like 30 minutes to an hour, and one time I had to actually let them sit overnight so that firmware update could be completed. It basically does it whenever it feels like it. Of course, once it has been completed, you should be able to see hearing protection, hearing assistance, and take a hearing test. When I actually first got these, I was headed out in like an hour to go to a Breaking Benjamin concert that I wanted to test out this hearing protection feature at, but I couldn't get the update done in time, so I essentially couldn't take them, and I had to listen to the whole entire concert with a pair of filtered musician's earplugs. The concert was great, I was just upset that I couldn't test out my new AirPods Pro 3. Okay, so after we get all the connections and the updates done, it's time to get the right physical fit. Now these actually come with a size medium ear tip on them. Let me show you on the camera here. That is what it default comes with, but there are several other sizes of these ear tips ranging anywhere from the extra small to small to large. Now for me, the size medium fits really well. For you, you might need a larger one, you might need a smaller one. Removing the ear tip is pretty easy. The way I do it is I actually kind of invert it like so to give me a better grip, and then I just pull straight off like so. That is the snap-on attachment point right there, and here we have the size medium ear tip. To put it back on, I just flap that back over so it looks like a normal dome, and let's see if I can get this in focus for you guys, and I just snap it back onto the tip here. Now, selecting the most appropriate size rubber ear tip is critical, because if you do not get a good enough seal of your ear canal with that rubber tip, you're going to be leaking sound, which means that you're not going to be getting the full amount of protection. Fortunately, Apple thought of this, and there's a way for you to actually check to see if you have the proper ear tip and the proper physical fit. If we go ahead and put these inside of our ears at this point, and then we take back out our iPhone, we can go down here to the hearing protection button inside of the AirPods Pro 3 settings screen, and then you can see Test Acoustic Seal. So I'm going to tap on Test Acoustic Seal, and this is a way that they can generate an internal sound and measure how much of that sound is leaking out. And if it detects that there is leakage, it's going to say that you do not have a good fit. So let's go ahead and test it out and see how it works here. Hit continue. We're going to go ahead and hit play, and then I can't talk when this is running. And there we go, we can see that I do have a good seal. If I were to break the seal on one of them, so my left ear now has a broken seal, I'm gonna play that again. And we can see here that the left one failed. It says adjust or try a different ear tip. So essentially you'd want to try a different ear tip and check the physical fit of these until the point where you get the good seal green indicator here. So let me run it one more time. And there we go, we have a good seal. So we are good there. Now, if you're unable to get a good acoustic seal, you can take these to an audiologist's office, and some audiologists can actually create a custom ear sleeve for you so it fits inside of your ear perfectly. A good place to find one of these clinics is to go to my website, hearingup.com, and find a Hearing Up network member in your area. Now, once you've achieved a good physical fit of the AirPods Pro 3 inside of your ears, it's time to select the listening mode that you actually want to use. If you still want to hear your surroundings like I am right now, you want to make sure that you're in transparency mode for that. Just remember that this one gives you the least amount of hearing protection because you're basically telling the AirPods Pro that you do want to hear some of your surroundings. If you want to maximize your hearing protection, you're going to want to go ahead and go over to noise cancellation. And if you want a blend of transparency mode and noise cancellation mode, you can switch over into adaptive. Adaptive is pretty cool because right now I can tell that it's still amplifying sounds in my environment, but if something were to get noisy, it would start to reduce the amount of amplification it gives to it and switch into that hearing protection mode. And there you go, that's how you set up the AirPods Pro 3 as hearing protection. Now, if you want to see my detailed review video of how good this hearing protection actually is, remember I will have that video linked down in the description for you.